Well, it's time for duty in Djibouti. It's time for duty in Djibouti. It's time for duty in Djibouti. Doop, 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 duty in Djibouti.
Welcome to another edition of Duty in Djibouti. I'm Petty Officer Cody Boyd. U.S. and French service members train together in a personnel recovery exercise. Staff Sergeant Sarah Weeks has more.
Rescue, the 2-2, copy.
Joint service members from Camp Lemonnier, along with the French military, trained together in a personnel recovery exercise in Djibouti, Africa. Training like this enhances the capabilities of U.S. military and coalition forces to play their different and vital roles when recovering isolated personnel across an area that approaches the size of the continental U.S.
When we start to do joint exercises like this, it's great to kind of hammer out all the kinks and to kind of figure out what we're going to expect when we get into the terminal area.
We can see the different aspects of different branches of service and what they bring to the table. So the more we work with different people, the better overall trained that we are.
The ultimate goal in any personnel recovery mission is to return isolated personnel to friendly control as quickly and safely as possible.
There's always going to be inherent risk in doing what we do, but we have the appropriate procedures and precautionary measures in place to allow us to do what we do safely and effectively.
Exercises such as this help enhance joint and coalition interoperability and underscore the importance of personnel recovery around the Horn of Africa.
When our isolated personnel fall into the wrong hands, they can be utilized for all sorts of ulterior motives. And so it definitely protects our mission out here by keeping our assets and our resources out of the hands of the enemy.
These exercises continue to solidify joint operations within CJTF-HOA in assisting partner countries to strengthen an increasingly stable and developing East Africa. For Combined Joint Task Force Horn of Africa Public Affairs, I'm Staff Sergeant Sarah Weeks.
Kimberly Vaughn, wife of fallen Navy SEAL Aaron Vaughn, pays tribute to her late husband.
I met Aaron back in 2005. I was on tour with the Washington Redskins cheerleaders. We got married in May of 2008. Shortly after that, we ended up having our first son, a little boy named Reagan. And then 3 weeks prior to his last appointment, I had a little girl, Chamberlain. That day is obviously something that I will never forget. Everything is ingrained in my memory, from the looks on the notification team's face. The first thing with the doorbell ringing, I'd heard about the crash on the news, and the doorbell rang, and I just saw the men in uniform coming in, and it was, you know, kind of a barrage of people. I shouted, "No, no, no," immediately, and they had said that there had been a helicopter crash and Aaron was on board, and that there were no survivors. It was like a movie playing out in real life. You know, you've seen it before, you see it in movies, you know it happens to other families, but this time it was happening to me. I am very blessed in the fact that actually a few hours before that mission, that we got to talk briefly on the phone, and both my children were in the car, and it came over the Bluetooth surround sound, so they all got to hear him. We got to say that we loved each other, and that's a great last conversation to have. I'm reassured in the fact of, you know, he loved what he did, and knowing that, I know that I want to carry that out in our children's lives. You know, find out what drives you in life and do that, and do it to the fullest extent, and earning his sacrifice and the sacrifice of so many who have died for this country.
That's good.
Service members at Camp Lemonnier came together for a unique tribute to a historic figure. Tech Sergeant John Ledoux has the story.
Service members assigned to Camp Lemonnier, Djibouti, came together to celebrate the legacy of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.
We all owe a lot to Dr. King and the work of those who joined alongside him to tear down barriers, to open up opportunities, to create parity and equality where none existed.
The event included video presentations, music from the Enduring Freedom Chapel Band, and remarks by Marine Sergeant Major Gary Smith.
If Dr. King was alive today, I believe that he would say that the dream has been achieved with all reality. Today, we are not judged by the color of our skin, but instead we are judged by the content of our characters.
Dr. King, a recipient of the Nobel Peace Prize, would have been 84 this year. Reporting from Camp Lemonnier, Djibouti, I'm Tech Sergeant John Ledoux.
And now, service members from around the camp tell us what Martin Luther King Jr.'s legacy means to them.
The Martin Luther King legacy to me means everything. If it wasn't for Dr. Martin Luther King, I don't think I would be where I am today. Well, I know I wouldn't be where I am today. The ability to do the things that we so freely do nowadays is because of him.
It reminds us of a time when there was a lot of bitter division in the country, and Martin Luther King was a great figurehead that helped unite, help get rid of and smooth over a lot of the racism issues that we were having.
What the MLK celebration means to me is the truth of his dream, his legacy is coming true.
A great movement for a great cause. Everybody's equal, and he was the leader and founder of that.
What he had to fight for to get, not just for us African Americans, but for everybody, including women. The legacy he left behind, he means a whole lot to me.
The diversity on this camp and the cultures, that such a mixture of cultures, reminds me of the things that Martin Luther King was trying to do for all of us.
Dr. King was a premier leader of the civil rights movement. He was a great man. He led by example.
Well, it reminds me of, all the changes that America has gone through, and the importance of MLK and his courage to change our country for the better.
To be able to speak out, even though you might be harmed or reprimanded some way, to me that's what people need to do for progress.
I really appreciate him standing up for what he believes in, so that's just how I feel about it. It means like a celebration of diversity when everyone gets to come together, like he said, shares the dream.
Just to be able to mix with other races, sexes, other countries, again, that's what it's all about, and it means a lot to me, and I don't take it for granted.
The impact that he's made has a huge impact on us as airmen, soldiers, sailors, Marines in a deployed location.
That's it for this edition of Duty in Djibouti. For Combined Joint Task Force Horn of Africa Public Affairs, I'm Petty Officer Cody Boyd.